second speaker today, Helen. Our speaker today has been involved in Toastmasters for 22 years. She has held every club officer's position, been an area director 4 times, a division director and a chief judge each once, and chaired silence auctions twice. She has delivered over 500 speeches, but who's counting? When she isn't at a Toastmasters meeting or preparing for one, she enjoys reading, journaling, photography, embroidering,
crocheting,
quilling, is the president of the Eden Prairie Eden Valley Area Library and help with 9th grade religion class. She views each Toastmasters member as her personal professor as she learned from each member. Please welcome Helen Grovey for her speech, Overcoming Your Fear of Speaking by Being a Better Listener. Helen.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I grew up in a rural area, a farm, one of 10 kids. I was the 3rd child, the 3rd daughter. One of my older sisters talked non-stop. I could not get a word in, an anorexic word in, sideways. And because of that, I didn't have a lot of confidence. I didn't know what to say. I stumbled over a lot of things. And each time I heard about Toastmasters, it was, just stay away from me, stay away from me. It was offered at work. And I thought, after hearing about it 3 times, that I would join. I would check it out. Oh, the butterflies were just all over the place, just my stomach, and just thinking about back when. I was so nervous, so scared. I wrote my speech, outlined it, put it on note cards, and the day of the meeting, sitting in a room, tables in a square, holding my papers, one of them fell on the other side of the table. And I thought, I need my notes. I need my notes. It wouldn't look very ladylike to crawl over the table or go under the table to get my notes. I walked up to the lectern when called, and I pointed to my speech on the floor. And I gave my speech. I walked back to my chair after the speech was over. I think you could have heard the voice in my head say, I didn't die. I didn't die. I didn't die. That's how loud it was in my head. I thought somebody could hear it. That's how scared I was. I was so afraid of speaking. I had a mentor who I spoke with on a weekly basis for almost a year. And we talked about Toastmasters, how it could help me, and help me not only being able to find my voice, but to be a better listener. Where I worked, one of the jobs is I was talking to the consultants. They'd ask questions, lots of questions. And when you're on the phone answering these questions, sometimes you hear things that maybe you shouldn't hear, or maybe you should hear. A crying baby, a barking dog, the doorbell ringing, and the stress and the inflection in the person's voice. That's listening. That's hearing more than what is really going on. A friend of mine who is a Toastmaster member at Rochester Mayo Clinic, a doctor, he said, Toastmasters has helped me so much. I am able, he said, to listen differently to the patients. Not so much what they're saying, but what they're not saying. By being able to read their nonverbals, their facial expressions, their gestures, their body language. Does their body language match the words that they're saying? And I met him almost 22 years ago. That resonated with me in regards to listening. When we listen, how do we listen? Are we listening in hopes that we can put some information in real quick before they catch their next breath? That's not listening, that's just responding. But listening is allowing that silence when somebody's talking, because they may need to collect their thoughts. They need to maybe have the courage to say the next thing. Joining Toastmasters back in 1999 has opened up so many doors. It has given me an opportunity to share my struggles, my accomplishments, my joys. I'm not afraid to get up, introduce myself to someone. I'm able to listen differently. Toastmasters allows us to make mistakes, allows us to stumble. We will not be berated by a bad speech. What did you learn from this experience? What can you do to improve? And introducing you to new things to try. Just talking about Toastmasters back when, I still feel those butterflies and that anxiety in me right now, because I went back in time. But I've learned through Toastmasters to get my butterflies to fly in formation. That is the beauty of being in Toastmasters. At work, we have so many demands on us, but how do we manage to get all that done when we're feeling the stress, when we might have to give a presentation at work? Toastmasters helped me. It was offered at work. I checked it out. I overcame my fears of speaking. I knew that individuals wanted to hear what I had to say. That made me feel good. That gave me a validation. That encouraged me. Toastmasters transformed my life from being a quiet, rural country girl who had a sister who talked nonstop. Now, I'm able to get a few words in edgewise when I'm around my sister. I've conquered that one. That's a good feeling. And sometimes you just have to adapt. This is who your siblings are. I invite each one of you to step up. Check out Toastmasters, visit some clubs, or you can visit any club around the country. Join our club. We have mentors here for you to help you achieve your goal in public speaking, and more importantly, listening. Back to you. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Helen. I can totally agree with you because when I introduced you, girl, somehow, girl, I